Hey, fellow Aquas, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your second half of September general reading here. Now, before I get into the amazing meditation that I just have for you guys, just a couple of quick announcements. My Be Your Own Intuitive course, and I've been talking about for a while now, is finally open for registration over on my website. All of that information is in the description box below. We have a few slots left. I wanted to keep the first group really small. It's going to be a really good time. How to sign up, all the info again is in the description box below, as well as my newsletter. Yes, your girl Lady Crow now has a newsletter where I go on about what I'm currently obsessed with. I recommend decks and books, and I do a monthly animal energy and all of the good things. So all of that goodness is on my website, so definitely check that out. Okay, now on to the meditation. Okay, so I saw Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, for those of you, I'm just going to let that sit and settle and absorb. Charlie Chaplin was a silent film star. Right? And I was taken to this movie theater where I saw Charlie Chaplin, doing his thing on the screen, but I was really drawn to the fact that, okay, car horns. I was really drawn to the fact that there was no talking, there was no sound coming from him, right? Again, silent film star, right? Then I saw, and I feel like the Aquarian Collective, was being represented by said Charlie Chaplin. I saw Charlie Chaplin look to the movie theater screen like he saw the box that he was in or the screen that he was in, and he just cut right through it, stepped through the screen and became, wait for it, RuPaul. Yes, the illustrious RuPaul. And I heard the song it's Sissy That Walk, and the lyrics that I heard that I feel are pertinent, and if I fly or if I fall, at least I can say I gave it all. There's something about that. But I want to point out the juxtaposition between those two images, right? There's Charlie Chaplin, which is literally in black and white, a throwback to tradition or the way that things are done or the way that things were done, right? Not having a voice or not being heard, right? Staying within certain parameters or a box or certain lines, right? And then bursting through is RuPaul, who is, at least for me, the epitome of what living out loud and unapologetically truly looks like, right? So I also heard that there is no wrong and there is no right. There are only choices made from love and choices made from fear. That was your meditation. So let's just see what's going on with Aquarius. There's no right and wrong. There are only choices made from love and choices made from fear. Wow. Could be tapping into self-expression or, vocalization, speaking one's truth, all of that good stuff. We have the dolphin here on the bottom, which equates to Ace of Cups and a lot of intuitive information and love and fun times, which is really lovely to see on the bottom here. We have the Cobra. Let's talk about this. So this, in a sense, equates to the energy of the Hanged Man for me. The Hanged Man is about flipping one's perspective and being open and willing to doing something differently, or how quickly a change in perspective can be just in a snap of a finger. Right? The snap of a finger, especially as air signs, right? Obviously, this is fire energy here, which is about the actions that we take, right? What we're passionate about. But as an air sign in particular, you can draw upon your unique ability to flip your perspective quickly and efficiently in a moment, right? We definitely know how to dwell on things as air. Hello, the Eight of Swords is in our suit. Have you ever taken a look at the complete suit of the swords that we represent? Tarot, it's like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? We definitely know the perils of analysis paralysis. We definitely know how to overthink things. But on the flip side of that, that's like the shadow energy of an air sign. On the flip side of that, we also know how to, in the snap of a finger, flip our perspective and be somewhere else rather quickly, because that's the facility we have over our own mind. It's just about allowing the opportunity to get there and have that happen. And I'm also being drawn to the fact that it was Charlie Chaplin's silent film star, an old way of doing something or a throwback to how things used to be, very black and white and regimented, and then bursting through the screen as RuPaul. And RuPaul's, what Ru is all about is about living your most authentic life. And that, Ru always says that you weren't born to fit in, you were born to stand out. I do feel like there's an aspect of bringing the authentic you to the table in many different ways and contexts. I feel like there's a certain fear or trepidation around doing this. Okay? Now, this could be across a lot of different platforms, you know what I'm saying? But this is also about discernment and judgment as well. If you think about the cobra energy, the cobra does not disperse its venom every time it bites someone, something, somebody, right? It chooses when to let that venom go or not, right? So there is something here about taking the time to really consider, but I gotta tell you something. This feels like a lot like it's about you as the collective. This feels a lot about your relationship with yourself, how you see yourself, right? And there's a certain sense of allowing yourself to be free. And I feel like what and how that looks like may surprise some of y'all if you take the time to really consider it, right? Yeah, that's really fascinating. Okay, let's see what's going on. See what's going on for my aquas for second half of September. Oh, okay. I was just thinking about the number 9. The reason, let's take it to the number 9 for a second. The number 9 it feels very pertinent here. The number 9, Odin from Norse mythology hung upside down from a tree for 9 days in order to gain wisdom. So he quite literally took the hanged man's position, flipped himself up. I feel like, I don't know for sure, but I feel like possibly that's where the inspiration for the hanged man came in, was from that Norse mythology of Odin, hanging upside down in order to gain wisdom, right? For 9 days and nights, right? That's commitment, honey. But I feel like for y'all, this is saying like that the number 9 as well is about the point of, finishing something before the point of, total completion, right? Wrapping up and moving on with the number 10. So bring that up to say she got the 9 of swords. We were just talking about the swords and all of its, Now I want to point something out here. This bird right here, I cannot remember the name of it. Is it a whippoorwill? A whippadoo? It has a very particular name. I can't remember the name of it. But what I do know about this bird is that it's super loud. Super, super vocal. That's why it's shown outside of a bedroom window type here, because it's that kind of bird where it's so loud that if you have the, unfortunate luck to take up residence and sleep somewhere where there's a nest of these dudes nearby, you will not sleep. They are so, so loud. So I'm really being taken back to this aspect of noise and sound versus silence and holding things in or not speaking things, right? And remember, I saw Charlie Chaplin bust through and become RuPaul, who is very, outspoken, right? Now, traditionally, 9 of Swords is about nightmares and mental tension that seeps into our subconscious, but also the, nighttime, right? And the more quiet time of night. So here we have this energy of quiet time, darkness, going inside, really going within that inner psyche and subconscious of ourselves and our shadows, along with the hanged man being mirrored here as well, which is about flipping one's perspective and being willing to look at something from a different perspective and angle in order to see it differently, right? So we got some themes going on here, Aquarius. I have to say something, and I say this with all the love in the world because you know that I'm a fellow Aqua. Because this feels orchestrated by you, and I just saw 909. You can't make it up. I just saw 909 on the timer. This does feel somewhat orchestrated by you. The good news around it being orchestrated, like it doesn't feel like a bunch of external things that are happening at you or around you that are inspiring this energy within and around you. It really feels internal, I have to tell you. And the good news is that it's like I said, since that feels like the case, you also have all of the ability to flip that and work with that energy as it is. And I don't mean to say to take that energy and try to exert your will upon it or change it. Remember, there's only choices made from love and choices made from fear. I said that at the very beginning. And that's exactly what it feels like we're talking about. You're asking to flip your perspective and look at it differently. See yourself, right, in relationship to these more challenging aspects of yourself or feelings that are coming up, and go, okay, what in this is love and what is this is fear, right? We have 4 of Cups here. Now, it is not escaping my attention that we have an octopus on this key. An octopus, I believe, yes, was the overall animal energy for first half of September. So now it's coming on back. You know, this is not entirely surprising either, because, you know, the 4 of Cups is about a certain sense of discontent, or, you know, wishing things were slightly different, a dissatisfaction really, or even a slight boredom, right? With what you've got on your plate or what is being offered to you. I gotta tell you, I feel like this has also to do a certain sense of dissatisfaction within and around yourself. Okay? That's what this feels like. You know, what this also is though, because there's this element here of clairvoyance as it's related to the octopus as well, is a certain sense of being able to see things clearly or not. And you have these are both about seeing, right? And so is the cobra. So this is interesting how this is coming. I feel like it's time for like a, you know, a perspective check, but also like going inside of you and realizing, like, not just that you're a co-creator in your life and circumstances, but also outside of that, you are also responsible for responding as opposed to reacting, right? So it feels like a big aspect of this. And I'm obsessed with this. We have the Hierophant coming up here in the 3rd position. So this is the first major arcana. So I do feel like this is speaking to, these are some energies that you can move through, right? More transient energies that get you to this 3rd positioning of this is what's going to take you moving forward, this is really interesting. Because I would equate this to sort of this Charlie Chaplin energy that I was feeling, which is like very traditional, how things are done, how things are ought to be done. You know what I mean? Like, this is how it is. And you go to RuPaul, who's the exact opposite extreme of the traditional, right? Depending on how you look at it. But for the most part, I don't know if I could think of 2, you know, more different energies from Charlie Chaplin and RuPaul, right? So the Hierophant here, this is the marriage key. This is the tradition key. This also speaks to ancestral lines and, you know, family relationships. This also speaks of the beliefs that we inherit, right? From our upbringing, from our family structures. What beliefs did we inherit? What, you know, belief systems around money, around love, around relationships, all of that stuff, right? I feel like there is this whole feeling here where you're being asked to really go within, like High Priestess meets the Hanged Man, right? Because you can High Priestess all day, honey. You can High Priestess all day. You can sit there and meditate and intuitively journal and do all the things. But unless you go into it with an open mind from a place of as much neutrality as you can conjure, it's going to be a bit limited, right? 9 of Swords. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So I love how it says work on here. And isn't this stunning? This is a deck that one of you guys sent me. It's really, really beautiful. So this is the 3 here of Pentacles. Work. I have to point out that one of RuPaul's sayings is, you better work. So I like that it's coming up here too. You know, it's interesting, because we have the 3 of Pentacles here. And I also love this fall autumn leaves here, because we are talking and speaking of the time of the autumnal equinox coming up here pretty soon. The 3 of Pentacles traditionally is about what you particularly are skilled at, good at, your particular talents, your expertise, as it were. And the fact that it is coming up to clarify the 9 of Swords, do you remember what I said about, as an air sign, having the ability, more so I would say, I mean, there are always exceptions, but I would say that we are more hardwired to be able to flip our perspective pretty quickly and have it remain that way, and efficiently, I would say, right? And I do feel like this is coming up to say, like, go with your strengths. Allow your strengths to work for you during this time, right? Look at what you are particularly able to do within your air sign energy, within your particular self, even outside of being an Aquarius, but within your particular self. What are you particularly skilled at? And then use that as a tool to work through some of this Nine of Swords energy, right? I do feel like, again, there is this underlying aspect of what you are not saying or going about saying things in a way that is truthful, right? But also constructive, right? Constructive truth. Constructive truth. That's what these two keys feel like together, constructive truth. This can be a constructive truth that's coming out about you to and for you, about the people that you're around. It could be even looking at the work that you do and going, is this really like why I'm here? Is this really how I want to spend my time? I've received the memo that life is precious and short, and I really want to do work that means something. I want to leave my bit of the earth better than how I found it, or I want to, do work that doesn't feel like work, and, really come to a place where I feel like I'm making a difference, or I'm happier, whatever that is for you. You're being asked to get very clear on you, right? Very clear on you. I'm also really drawn to these colors here. So you see all the colors depicted here in the cobra and then all the colors here. I'm really drawn to the fact that they represent the lower chakras, which is really interesting because the lower chakras speak from the root chakra. It's how we see ourselves in the world. Money matters, stability, right? Up to the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra, which is orange and yellow, right? Which is why I'm speaking of these colors, which really speak about, our passions, how we see ourselves in relationship to shame and body image and confidence and self-esteem. And all of those lower chakras really speak to how we see ourselves in relationship to the world around us and our relationships and people around us, right? And that's really coming to the forefront here, right? It's really coming into the forefront. I do feel like for those of you who have been in a place of, how do I put this? It's like the last reading I did for you guys, where it was like that intergalactic kind of feeling of, we can absolutely find our happy place within the realm of our own mind and reality. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, leave us to our own devices, and there's no one's company that we enjoy more than our own. For real. That's not to say that we don't enjoy other company as much as we enjoy our own, right? There are those select few lucky people, but honestly, our own company, leaving us to our own devices, that can be a very beautiful thing. But there is this aspect that I'm picking up on here that you are being asked and prompted to, I want to say the word reintegrate yourself into your physical surroundings and the physical aspects of your life. And I feel like that could be your self-care routine, your relationship to physical movement, or how you fuel your body with what food you eat, your meditation practice, how you make money, your relationship to money, it's like all of those physical aspects of life, I feel like are now being called, especially, within this Virgo season and then the autumnal equinox, right? This feels very in alignment with the seasons, but it feels like this, what's a beautiful way to kind of put this? I feel like it's that feeling of when you're coming out of summer when you were a kid and you had to get back into school. And there was some feeling of excitement around all the new school supplies and whatnot, if you were me. But there was also this feeling of like, it's a bit of like it can be a bit of a jolt to go from this ethereal place of like, summer camp sleeping in, or like just being on the beach and not having to, use the mind too much. You're just enjoying the moment in summer and time is an illusion and you're just living for the lemonade and, the beach and all of that stuff. Going into that more structured of sitting inside a school building in the AC, in the hardback chairs. And that's what it feels like to me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm also going back to that early meditation of Charlie Chaplin to RuPaul as well. I feel like you're being called to find freedom within your relationship to your physical surroundings and also your routine, right? That's what this very much feels like. And I'm going to tell you something else. I don't feel like this is coming up for no reason at all. I feel like this is coming up because you're being prepped for something that is going to set you up in a beautiful structure within which you find your own freedom. But in order to get there, you're being asked to tighten what is that phrase? Tighten the bootstraps. Leave it in the comments if you know what I'm talking. I think it's like tighten the bootstraps and it's not a negative thing. It's just about fasten your seatbelt and get comfortable in this new, hard-backed seat or chair, because we're trying to fly you and lead you into something that is something that your soul is asking you to move on to, that you truly do want, is in your highest and best good. But it's almost like and I say this with love, it's almost like you're a slippery fish. I'm seeing this image of this slippery fish where it's like spirit or your higher self is going, wait, come over here, wait, but you want this, so I'm trying to place you here, hold on now. And like the slippery fish of Aquarius Collective is like, oh, but I want to swim and be free. Oh, but I'm not ready for that. I really need to heal more, and I need to go over here and just do what I need to do. I really can't be bothered right now to be in any kind of, structure where I do this at the same time every day, and then I'm accountable for this, and then I have this due, and then I'm putting timelines on myself, and I'm making to-do lists, and I want to chafe even as I say that. As a fellow Aqua, I want to chafe even saying that. But I feel like there is this gentle push or nudge from spirit that is saying, trust, you want to do this right now. And you're going to be very glad that you did, coming up here real soon. So there's something about that. Okay. Clarifier for the Four of Cups. This could not be more beautiful. You have the Ace of Pentacles here. This is literally what I was just saying. The Ace of Pentacles, and I like that it says enchantment as well, and it's showing you the underground and then what's above ground as well. Do you see this here? The flipping of the perspective with the Cobra and the Hanged Man, right? You see this Four of Cups and this kind of discontent or dissatisfaction. It's about trusting what's going on behind the scenes. Again, back to that film. Behind the scenes or beneath the surface, and trusting. Ace of Pentacles is like big money, big news, it's engagements, it's partnerships that last the long term. It's also about refurbishing, and I want to talk about refurbishing really briefly. So when you refurbish something, you are taking a pre-existing structure and improving upon it. And I feel like that is the sort of a theme of this whole reading as well. There's a refurbishment happening. Now, why we love refurbishment over brand new, for example, is if something brand new is being built, it requires the breaking down, right, and destruction of the previous structure, like the tower key, to build something new upon it, right? Refurbishment, however, you don't have to destroy the thing before it because you're merely improving upon it. And I feel like that is something, there's something in that here. And I feel like there's a fear or a sort of intuitive feeling that you're picking up on that your life is about to change. Woo, I just got shivies. That your life is about to change in a very big way. I'm getting a sense of, for some of you, I do feel like this is for only some of you, there is this feeling of self-sabotage or an aspect of like sometimes when because as Aquarians, we always feel things before they happen, like news at 9. But I feel like you're intuitively picking up on this, maybe even having dreams about this or deja vu about this. And there's this sense of like, oh my God, like freaking out when you get what you want. But this is more of a having those nervous and that bit of resistance because you can feel the change coming. And there's a part of you that is reluctant around it because, and guess what? There's been so much change here in this year. So it makes sense that there is this desire from your soul perspective to, can we just chill and just be in a place where things are a bit easier and more flowy? And do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really getting drawn to this octopus flying above these cups here, where it's like, listen, let's keep those cups where I can see them. And no, I'm not going to reach down and choose one. I'm not going to choose from love or fear. I'm not ready to choose right now. I just need to float on by and float around and swim around. And I will circle as many times as I need or want to before I choose any cup if I do at all. Because that's what feels safe for me right now. Because it's that moment before of just going, okay, I need to not embark on any big change right now. I need to not, right? Even though from a higher soul perspective, and even possibly from a human perspective, we really want it. This could be you, and this a lot of different things for different folks, right? But on one hand, this could be you really wanting partnership, right? Really wanting that committed partnership, but you feel like, on the other side of wish fulfillment is compromise and sacrifice and change, which is always difficult. Even if it's the happiest change in the world. News at 9. Change is hard. Right? It just is. That's what they never tell you. It's like, oh, hey, here's your wish fulfillment. Yay, ta-da. but it is going to require something of you, right? It's going to require that you leave some things behind, leave some people behind, make some changes within yourself that may be difficult to make, right? But this Ace of Pentacles is brand fresh new starts. This is big abundance. Big abundance. You're being asked to assume the hangman position and look at your relationship to success, money, love, all of that, and self-talk, negative self-talk, positive self-talk. You're being asked to really look at yourself, right? Because you have something coming here. And it's really about, are you going to make choices from love or fear? Because we are our choices. And you can have this in your energy, but it's really up to you when, how, or if it manifests. That's the truth, right? Whoa. So, wow, this is really intense. So we have the 10 of Swords here, finality, with the Hierophant. This is exactly what I was saying. Remember how I said that first of all, I was feeling the number 9 before the 10, which is the final completion before the cycle restarts. This finality here is the ending of life in the way that you knew it previously, but it is in alignment with what you actually want and as things should be from a higher soul and divine timing perspective. But endings are hard. Change is hard. But this is saying, also examine and look at your relationship to change. There's something within that for you. And I'm telling you, I feel something. I'm hearing something's coming from West Side Story, honey. I feel something on the other side of this that's like Spirit is like, we are really looking to prepare and prompt you for this so that it's not as jarring when it comes or when it presents itself as an opportunity. Because this really does feel like you're being prepared. Because if you think about the cobra too, just like snakes, what do? They shed their skin and then go into a new cycle where they're all, fresh and good to go. But when they do shed their skin, their eyes get cloudy, and that's when they're most vulnerable to predators, and it's a very private and intense and personal time for them. And you're being asked to allow yourself to go there and step by step, allow yourself to form into this new routine and function of really looking at what your strengths are and really observing yourself in relationship to your inherited belief systems around abundance, money, self-esteem, love, all of that good stuff. Okay? Let's go ahead and get an oracle for y'all. Oh God, yeah. Well, this is no surprise at all. Mountain, strength. Okay, I'm gonna go there because I have to. Do you remember when I said, or did I say that? If not, I meant to. There is a call here where you're being reminded that it's less about the destination and really all about the journey. And I know that's a bit trite and cliche, but it is what it is, and it's true for, it's a cliche for a reason. I'm hearing Miley Cyrus, The Climb. It's not about how fast I get there. It's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Mountain, strength. This is absolutely what this is. I feel like on one hand, this is calling upon your inner strength to take this flip of perspective and time for yourself to really look at yourself in relationship to everything that you want and ask yourself, not why don't I have what I want? Or why am I not where I want to be? Why am I not in a line of work that really makes me excited? Why am I still single? Why am I, whatever have you, right? But it's what in me is keeping me from it. That's the question. What in me is keeping me from it? That is the cobra with strength. What in me is keeping me from manifesting what it is I want? That is the question. And I feel like the reason that you are being asked this is because it wants to come to you. But there's this opportunity to remove something that is either delaying it or keeping it from manifesting in the time that it wants to. That's real talk right there. Okay? I keep hearing the climb. I do feel like what's on the other side of this mountain is Cobra. Now, some of you will choose to engage and embark in this. And how do you do this? I feel like some of you are going, okay, that's great and fab. How do I do this? There are a lot of different ways, right? I'll tell you how I do it. Whenever this comes up for me, right, this is for me about meditating and journaling. But journaling with self-prompts, right? Sitting down with the journal and going, okay, what is keeping me from X, Y, and Z. And then allowing it to come forward without judgment, expectation, and really looking at the things that about me that are difficult to look at, right? What's coming up for me? What am I holding on to from the past that's subconsciously informing my decisions? Where in my life am I coming from a place of fear as opposed to a place of love? When I say love, I mean also self-love, and I mean love and faith in the universe, that everything is always well despite how it may appear. Right? You guys got this. This feels like an important time, but how it unfolds from here is completely up to you and the choices that you make. You have the option to opt out of this. You know what? I'm not there. Catch me next time. I'm going to stay here as an octopus in the water and just sort of be in my own space where not too much will happen one way or the other, but I'm just not currently ready to take this up right now, and that is okay. You can opt out of this, right? I'm just here showing you what is an opportunity within the current energy moving forward to get you what it is that you want. Okay? Woo! All right, my beautiful fellow Aquas, I'm excited to see what comes on the other side of this. And for those of you who choose to embark upon, this challenge, as it were, but it feels like the good work, right? And I feel like the gift is that really does involve you, which means that you have complete control and facility and power around it, right? Beautiful. Okay. All right. This is your second half of September general reading. I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.